Hey everyone, so today I'm going to show you two separate ways that we can read in a CSV file. The first way is just going to be base R, doesn't require any special packages or anything like that. And then the second way will be using the readr function, which has a slightly different function, or the readr package, which has a slightly different function to read in a CSV file, which works a little bit more quickly and can be helpful for some larger data sets. So on the right side here, you see this dummy data set that I've created, just revenue data for the month of June of 2022. And we see this date column here, and then we see this revenue column. And so our goal is now to take this file that's in Excel and read it into R so we can then use R to run analysis, to visualize the data, and anything else like that. So as you see, we've got just this base R, just open it up there. So we're going to create a new file in R script. And so the first thing that we have to do within this is R doesn't actually know where our file lives. So this simple revenue CSV lives somewhere on our computer, but R doesn't know where to find that. So what you'll do is you'll just navigate to wherever that file is. And you can see here mine's in Documents, YouTube, R Basics, Data, and then we have this simple revenue.csv file. So in order to get there, we have to use the setwd function. And so on Windows, we would set WD like this. So whatever your Windows name would be is this, and you can actually see that by clicking here, going to Properties, and then you see we're basically going to be copying this string here, but without these slashes facing that way, they're going to be facing this way instead. So now we go there, and then it's in the Documents folder, and then inside of that the YouTube folder, and then inside of that the R Basics folder, and then inside of that the Data folder. So now that we've set WD, we can go down here and we can do list.files, and we can see, yep, we've got this simple revenue CSV file inside of our working directory. So the first way that we can read this in, and this is just going to be with base R, and we'll just call this base R. So we'll read this in as a base R data set, and it's just read.csv, and then we can just copy this name here. So we can just read this in and copy this in here, and then we can run that code, and now we see this base R. So if I look at base R, and we take a comparison between this data set and this data set, it's the same data set with the columns and the date and the revenue as well. If you have an older version of R, before R 4.0, I believe, or if you've used it in the past, you may remember doing something like strings as factors equal false. That's no longer required in the newer version of R, so we can just omit that and just leave that there. So then what we'll do is we'll use the readr package to read in data in a little bit faster of a way. Not that this really matters too much. So we're going to do readr R, and what we need to do before we do this, before we create that data set, is we're going to need to read in the readr package. So I can go ahead and do that because I've already installed it, but if you haven't installed the readr package, you're going to do install.packages, open and close parentheses, and then quotation marks, and then you would just put readr there, and you would run that code, and then you would run library of readr. So now that we have this, we can do read_CSV, and then once again, we can just paste in our data set there, and we can do this. And so you see it shows a little bit more information. It reads it in slightly differently. So we have 30 rows and we have 2 columns. We have 2 character columns, which are date and revenue. Neither of those should be character columns, right? But we're not worrying about that for this video here. And we can see that it is the same exact data set that we had before. So that's how we can take a CSV and we can read it in one of 2 ways. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments. If there's something in particular you want to see me cover in this base R sequence, please be sure to let me know, and like and subscribe so you can see this full series that will help you learn R from absolute beginner to an expert. I'll see you guys in the next video.